Well, howdy, folks. It has been a spell. Oh no. Right as my stream starts. Hmm. Bane of my existence. I've got YouTube reporting that I'm not sending enough data. I'm hoping that'll correct itself. Alright. Well, that's a sucky start after not streaming in a while. I hope it doesn't end. Trying to make sure the other streams are up. It's kind of looking like they are. We'll see if it's just YouTube not working. I might just upload it later if possible. It seems like it's working now. All right. Apologies. That's a solid way to start things off on a bad foot. So it's been a spell. Haven't streamed in a while. And I've been meaning to get back into things, but had other stuff come up this past few weeks. So we've been building this web wallet here for the Dash Incubator, specifically for the Dash cryptocurrency. And I've been building it based off these designs by a guy named Nick. And it's coming along. We're doing pretty good, but we're kind of into the point where we need to start implementing contacts and get multiple addresses and stuff. And so essentially, is there a way? There we go. So this is the built out one. This is actually working. I could click generate or I could click add an existing. So either of those work. I'm going to do add an existing and use a previously generated wallet. So let's type an alias. So, I'm Jojo Byte. Hello. So I'm going to call it Jojo Byte, and I'm going to add that alias. So now we are connected to that alias. And this is what we get here is this sort of stuff added into the local storage. So what we've got on the list here, which is, it doesn't really make it clear what we need to work on here, because to get some of this add a contact type of stuff and send and request to contact, or even getting these buttons working, we need to build out some more in-depth structure for what's stored here in local storage. And so I had done some work to implement this stuff, which is getting an ID. Let's see if we can find it in the code here. It has been a while, so I'm gonna kind of have to refamiliarize myself with the code. It might be in main. Or in utils? Yeah, it's probably here in utils. Because it's something we interact with. That's it. There we go. HD key ID and key ID. So we do the dash HD to ID. We either provide the HD key or we provide the derived address key. Ah, that's right. I believe I was working on this stuff. This wallet foo. This is not a end or production ready name. Xpub foo and wallet foo. Those are just my stand-ins so that I know to rename and that I'm working on them. Don't name things foo for real. So some of these I've got. This is looking so similar. So get address for contact to this stuff that I'm thinking there might be a way of combining those things. This is also very similar. It just provides less data. So it's likely that I'm going to combine several of these into one where it just filters kind of what gets returned. I don't know if it makes sense having them in 3 almost identical functions. Is it 3 or 4? It was at least 3. Maybe it's 4. I don't know. All right, but that's besides the point. These were stand-ins that I was testing stuff out. So essentially, after speaking to Cool AJ86, I'm importing code that he wrote. So this dash site, dash phrase, dash HD, they're all libraries that he wrote. And it's it's basically going to be more complicated than what I was initially anticipating. I thought there was more done or more would be handled by the libraries, but it sounds like we need to figure out how we want to store this data. And let's see. So we've got these functions here. That's where we get the 2ID. So I was mentioning that because this is basically a 2ID. And I discussed with him storing the 2ID of let's check. I think this would be the key ID, but it might be the HD key. So let's see where I do receive adder. I guess that's it. Get receive address. We store that, and it's the wallet.id. And wallet. So let's find get receive address. So that gets called and create contact. And this, we get wallet. Where does wallet come from? Well, this can't be the only area we're doing this, because clearly this stuff is getting added. Let's see, maybe I'll look up wallets. And we'll do exact that. Selected wallet is the ID. Wallet ID. So generate recovery phrase. Okay, that's where we're getting it. Okay, so we do generate recovery phrase, and here we have ID, which maps to the actual wallet, as far as I can tell. So from the seed, it's not the HD key. Oh, let me get some music going. Okay. I may also need to look into something else. I'm trying to recall what it was. There is a there's a method of storing wallet information. And I can't recall what it was called off the top of my head. So I am going through some chats real quick to see if I can find what it was. Okay, so what I need to look into, so I guess I'll do this live here, is key stores. And it is a common storage format. Come on. All right. Key store. Easy to use text encryption support library. Hmm. Whoops. Not key story. This library provides classes for integrating functionality from the following key stores into JavaScript: Trezor, Ledger, Hermit. So this is kind of what I'm looking for, is how to do this format. So I suppose with this we could do what? Create a key store. Interesting. So you can select which things you want in the key store. So let's go ahead and include all of them, just so I can get a good idea. Actually, wait. I wasn't sure if that would change anything by selecting that. Okay. All right, so let's do create. Okay, let's do that. Save. Okay, so got a password there and there. Create. Right. Okay, so let's see. So let's format. All right, so that's what the key store looks like that was just generated. It doesn't really show any additional data as far as I can tell. Maybe if I deposited things into these wallets, more would show up in the file, but I'm not sure. Alright, I think I can close that for now. So I haven't implemented this yet in the wallet that I'm working on right now. However, in CrowdNode UI, another project I worked on, so in this project, there is encryption built into this. And so some of what's being stored in this key store file is the encryption details as far as I can tell. For example, let's go ahead and generate. Go ahead and copy that. So that just created a new wallet for us in CrowdNode UI. So if we go here and inspect, you'll see we've got a few things, like we've got the phrase, we've got the selected key, which should match that. The fiat, which is up here, how it displays that. And then the current fiat, we basically just cache so that unless you refresh the page, it just uses the last number it's gotten. That's just so we're not abusing the API, although at some point it would be good to have like an auto refresh every 30 seconds or minute, or I don't know, maybe even 15 minutes or something. I don't know how frequently people would want the price updating, but we could add that essentially. Regardless, this is not encrypted right now. However, if you click this lock icon and we enter a password and click encrypt, now, as you'll see, you can't read the recovery phrase. So that all got encrypted. So how this lines up, from what I can tell, is, let's see, this encrypted IV, there is an IV that's included in the key store output, so we would probably put that under the cipher params IV. This very well might be the cipher text. It says the cipher is AES 128 CTR, which let's see if I've included this here. So this is a library I made that was based off of another library.
Get this guy off me! I'm on it. Let's back up the squadron.
And it looks like we're using AES GCN. So the cipher, I'm guessing, would be that. This other key store, let's see. let's try this so y'all can see what I'm talking about. All right.
Okay, I'll admit it.
So this is the other key store that I just generated on the Thor swap site. So it's got this cipher, which I think lines up with AES GCM, but it uses AES 128 CTR. Cipher text, I think, lines up with what we encrypted here. The cipher params IV lines up with the IV generated here, which I believe I was mid-update for CrowdNode UI. So some of the stuff, like the fact this says encryptage, and I renamed it to cryptic storage. So I don't think this is actually the latest version. I think I was working on something else and it's not done yet. And then I swapped modes to work on the wallet. So I think I may have changed how that works. And if I'm recalling correctly, it was because we implemented multiple wallets. So was that it? No. It's not because we implemented multiple wallets. We had multiple wallets. What we implemented was multiple addresses. So if in the latest version, which I don't want to boot it up and run it now, it will take me far too off track. I want to try and get back on to what I need to work on, but I'm also refreshing my memory and working through this so that, hopefully benefits you guys and it will benefit me. In any case, this was changed around, so if you click that and you already have an address, instead of asking you to add a new wallet recovery phrase, you could generate a new address. So you could have multiple addresses, like public addresses, under one single recovery phrase, which is the benefit to using these HD keys or HD wallets. I mean, I suppose you could have multiple public addresses under a non-HD wallet, but the way we're doing this, it makes it a little easier. In any case, this public version does not have that yet. There were still things I was working on, and I can't quite remember everything that I was working on for CrowdNode, but a lot of the functionality here, or in some form, will end up in the actual official wallet that we're working on, which is this. So even though this isn't ready right now, I don't know if much more work will be done for the CrowdNode specific thing, because I know at some point we wanted to implement something like CrowdNode in the official wallet so that you could just shift some of your funds into a different public address and use it as if it's a savings account. And then those would be invested for you in something like CrowdNode. I don't know if there's any other options, but it would probably be CrowdNode. Or if there's multiple options, maybe we'd allow you to choose the provider type of thing. In any case, I digress. I was comparing these. So I think those are lining up. We've got PBK DF2, that's there. So that lines up. This is using HMAC SHA 256. I don't know if we're using HMAC or not. I don't know if there's any advantage to using HMAC or not. Doesn't look like we're defining that. I'm not against it, but I'll have to run that by CoolAJ86 and see what he thinks. He's more of the cryptography expert than I am. So SHA 256, HMAC SHA 256, DK length. I don't know what that is. Derived key, so derived key length. So it's got a derived key length. I'm assuming DK length or DK len stands for derived key length. Salt. Do we have a salt? We do have a salt. That's right. The salt gets put in right there. But if we look at oh, I would need to open up crowd node, which I don't want to go too far, but there is a spot in crowd node where I define what the salt is. So we would essentially just need to include the salt in this output. Okay, and then the MAC. I don't know what the MAC is. The Mac Daddy. Yeah, I don't know what the Mac is. ID just looks like a UUID to make it unique. And then meta, I don't know even if that's required, but yeah. Most of the stuff here in crypto makes sense to me and seems to line up with what we're doing. So we could shift the cryptic storage so that it lines up better with this key store idea. But I'm also, now that I'm going through this, I don't think I need to worry about this right now. It's not exactly what I was thinking it was. I was thinking it might have some reference to the addresses you have generated in like other wallet data, but at least this doesn't seem to have that. All right, so that said, I'm gonna move on from this. Yeah, go ahead and close that. All right, so let's close that as well. I'm not going to worry about any of this other stuff I was searching now that I'm pretty sure I understand what the key store is. It seems like a good enough format of any, and it might line up with like what Trezor and Ledger is doing. Like maybe that's essentially the file you end up storing on one of those. I don't know. Maybe. All right, let's go ahead and close. And close. All right, so this index is one of the things I was considering using. I haven't In my web development career, even though IndexedDB has been around quite a while now, I haven't really used it. I've only dabbled with it here and there. I know that it has, I suppose I could just read this. IndexedDB is a database that is built into stores almost any kind of values by keys, multiple key types, supports transactions for reliability, supports key range queries indexes, can store much bigger volumes of data than local storage. So it's usually excessive for traditional client-server apps. IndexedDB is intended for offline apps to be combined with service workers and other technologies. So, at least in this description, it might really be the best solution for this, where, in a sense, this wallet should have some kind of offline app type functionality, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm kind of babbling. You can also use async await with the help of a promise-based wrapper like Archibald IDB. In any case, local storage, for the most part, in my career, which is longer than I'd like to admit right now, many years now, local storage has been sufficient for most of the projects I've worked on, but we weren't storing large amounts of data in the browser. It was more surface level stuff, which local storage is great for that. But in this case, to circle back to what I was initially talking about, here is we need to store, so an ID like that, or in this case, we've got the wallet ID, and then this is, where was that? All right, there it is. So account index and address index. So we would need to generate a bunch of these, and I'll need to reference some notes or chats I've had with Kool-Aid J86, but I think he was saying we would generate the first 100 when you create a new wallet, or add a wallet even. And if all of the balances are zero, in that you just start from there using those addresses. If however any have balances, you would then generate like another 20. And if any in there have balances, you would generate another 20. And you would continue generating the addresses and checking the balances until you reach like 20 in a row that don't have a balance. So not only would we be storing this information, we would need some correlation to that information for the actual balance of that address. So right now, this is correlating to this address right here. So we've got, that's the public address, and this is the account index and the address index. which in terms of an HD wallet, that's what I was looking for here. So an HD wallet has some identifiers here. I forget exactly what all of these are, but this defines it's like in the Bitcoin, I think. I don't know, don't quote me. And this one tells you you're actually using the -1 specifically, and then you're generating an account index. This is the use, I believe, which is let's see if I define it here. So it's either a receive or a change, if I'm recalling correctly. Whoops. What did I do? Yep. Okay, so there it is. Use 0 is receive, use 1 is change. So that correlates to that HD path I was looking at. Where was it? So you've got account index, the use, which is either 0 or 1. So receive or change address. And then you've got the actual address index. Now, if I recall correctly, the 0-based account index would... I think we were planning on using that as your main wallet. And then if you bump up the account index, so if you've got 0 here and you go to 1, that would be your first contact. And then between you and that contact, you would have some way of sharing which address index you're on. I think. So I had started making this this structure, but after several talks, I'm thinking this structure might not be the right option. Which leads me back to IndexedDB. So it might be better to take the time to figure out a structure that works in IndexedDB. And I guess the likely advantage to using IndexedDB in this instance is you can actually add indexes to certain values. So if we've got the actual public address, we could index that. If we've got this toID, we could index that. And then if we need to find by either of those, it actually makes the transaction or you know, the process of trying to find that faster because it's indexed. And to cycle back to here, actually, let's go here. So in this demo here, the reason we have to worry about all of this is each of these contacts you may have will have different addresses. And the way we're intending this wallet to work is every time you send to someone or request someone send you money, or Dash more specifically, so every time you request Dash funds from someone, it would give them a new address. And vice versa, if you've added a contact, so your contact is using the Dash Incubator wallet and you are using the Dash Incubator wallet, that contact would keep an index of every time they send you funds. So they would know the address index needs to increase each time. So they would know what the last one is or what the next one should be. And then hopefully you would never be reusing addresses. And this would preserve like security of your wallet and funds. The other thing that I was trying to account for in this is you may have multiple recovery phrases. So, for instance, if you're sending or interacting with me and I'm going by JojoByte, and I create one wallet on my laptop, and then on my phone, I don't have access to my laptop, so I create another wallet. We want some way of resolving that where you don't just abandon a phrase that you've already created, but you have a way of the next time you're at your laptop, you kind of combine it. And so you're handling them under one alias, so it's all under JojoByte for me, but you might have a contact that, you know, kind of like if you're using Venmo or something, where you're out and about and someone's trying to pay you back for something, and so you pull out your phone, you request, you know, one Dash or whatever, and they send it to you. They're connected to now your phone wallet, not necessarily your laptop, unless you had the foresight to synchronize these things ahead of time. If you didn't, we want a way of resolving that after the fact, and where you could essentially synchronize your laptop or desktop and your mobile device. It wouldn't quite be synchronized, but essentially you would have multiple HD wallets that, at least from the end user perspective, would be functioning just like one wallet. This is where that key store would likely change, and that's where I'll need to figure out how it handles multiple wallets, or if you can do a multiple wallet key store. Essentially, each recovery phrase would be treated as a wallet. Uh-oh. Looks like I lost at least one stream. I don't know which one yet. Something went down though. I think Twitch is still up. Is it Rumble? Or is it YouTube? Well, I'm not sure which stream cut out yet, but one of the streams certainly cut out. And almost exactly at the hour mark. Hmm. Very odd. I can't figure out which one cut out. Thinking it's maybe Rumble. Yeah, I think Rumble must have gone offline. That sucks. Yeah, it's Rumble. Bummer. Need to finish my own streaming software so I can recover things like this. Hmm. 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 I had done some experimentation with IndexedDB, but I'm trying to remember where I had done that. Um, huh. All right. So it looks like, at least in my experimentation, I didn't really do anything. It looks like mostly copy pasta and testing stuff out, which, I mean, it very well might be from something like this. So you essentially open the IndexedDB. As far as I can tell, a lot of stuff happens on upgrade needed, which it's showing right here. So this would be, we open it with version 2 and perform the upgrade like this. So on upgrade needed, DB results, switch, old version. Version 0 means that the client had no database, perform initialization. Client had version 1, update. Okay. On success. Version change. Open request on blocked. I don't really want to add dependencies, but I do want to open this up and see what that looks like. So IndexedDB with promises. So OpenDB, delete wrap, wait OpenDB. See what the source looks like. That's a much larger file. Wasn't expecting that. Oh, it's also written in TypeScript. Not a fan. Not a fan. They're not a dist folder. Let's see what it depends on. So dev dependencies, but no other dependencies. So it is zero dependency if you don't count dev ones, which looks like it's all related to TypeScript, compressing, and testing chai and additional type checks. Yeah, that looks like it's all for like bundling and that kind of stuff. So then this is saying from IDB plus ESN. Is that what these files are? Build. Track from build async iterators. So those don't actually contain anything. I suppose we could open up this file. Let's try this. There you go. That is actually pretty concise. What about this one? That's also concise. Suppose I am okay-ish with including this. I don't know if I will for sure. Maybe I'll just npm install it and see. Okay, so IDB build. Let's see if what it added. Yeah, so to the package lock, it didn't actually add that much. Just added that. I'm okay with that. So I might use that after all, assuming I do use IndexedDB. So you're able to do an import like this. Maybe we'll start doing a test. just make a new file here and call it db.js. And we'll do something like that. And then instead of that ellipses, okay, and then inside main here, let's say do database stuff. Thought I had a main. Oh, there it is. I do have a main function in here. Is that it? All right, so let's that up here. We will say, oh wait, do database stuff. All right, so we've got that added. Gonna come back here. We want to watch the index DB. Failed to resolve. Module specifier. Relative references must start with blah blah blah. Oh yeah. Okay, why did that happen? Probably because of something like that. So I think it was index.js. Am I wrong? DB up. Oh, maybe it's double jump. Node modules, double jump, build. No. IDB/build. Something like that. Whoops. Alright, let's see if it still complains with that. It didn't complain. And look at that, we've got foobar. Alright. Simple enough. All right, so this is where it gets more into the foundation that I need to make. So we need to decide what and how we're going to store the things, all the things. So I think we need to, let's see, object store. So we need something like this, create object store. So let's see, I think we need this, where is it? Let's actually go back here and see if API OpenDB delete unwrap takes an enhanced index DB object and returns the plain unmodified, takes an IDB object and returns the version enhanced by this library. Okay. See if it references the upgrade. Opens a database and returns a promise for an enhanced IDB database. So called if this version of the database has never been opened before, use it to specify the schema for the database. This is similar to upgrade needed event in plain IDB. Okay. So instead of that, we would do, so the name, the version, say 1, although this would probably be 2 already. And then, oh, not that. Upgrade. Old version, new version. TX and EV console.log. We will say indexed DB upgrade. There it is. So IndexedDB upgrade, old version 1, new version 2, and then if we're looking in here, sure enough, it's got that. So version is 2. All right. So this shows on error and on success. So I was just trying to see if this also offers that.
Looked cool in the old times, but you know, in the land of fresh and open, if you wanna know, then for all the bro. Straight it out, freedom looking down your way. We're proven in the 90s, no one say. We know your ages, but you've never seen moves like the way I twist and turn and groove. You see this ball, well, that's my credo. Sing the kick and flip and fly like a torpedo. So for now, just relax and enjoy the show. I'ma swing it in, this whole world has to go.
Hmm. All right, so that's more or less what I was looking for. Hmm. Every time I hear these songs, it makes me want to play I think it's called Farthest Frontier. It has more of like this style of music while you're playing. Find it peaceful. But also sometimes the wrong mood for coding. Great for playing the game, but not for coding. I'm hoping it doesn't do another one of these in a row, but we'll see. So it creates the index on date. If you wrap an IDB transaction. See, I don't know if this will work, but I guess I could just try it and see if it errors. Well, we've got articles and we've got date. Okay. So I think it worked. Let's see what happens if you refresh. I don't know. Nothing seemed to happen, so I think that's expected. Let's see. So essentially, once OpenDB is done, I should be able to call that add multiple articles in one transaction. DB transaction, write, promise, store. Alright, that is cool to know I can do multiple. I actually don't know why they surrounded it in those extra braces, though. I guess it's encapsulating it somehow. Or for some reason. I don't know. I don't know the reason to encapsulate it, I guess is my point. I mean, I suppose maybe they don't want to pollute. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that keeps constant out of the global or the main space, so they're able to define constant TX twice. I don't know. Seems kind of weird. Get all the articles in date order. So this is essentially why we would do the from or the index, or why we'd use IndexedDB in the first place is presumably if we index on this ID, so the wallet ID, if that's consistent, then we could say, where's that? Get all from index with, you know, wallet ID or whatever, and Well, that's not saying with wallet ID. It's just getting it by that index via date. But theoretically, there's probably a way to say, like, get this wallet ID specifically. I don't know. So let's just try adding something. Make sure that's all working like expected. So we await DB, we add to articles, article 1, new date, body. All right. Let's see what that looks like. Sure enough. That's interesting that I had to refresh both. Maybe I just needed to refresh up here, though? Or not. I guess there's no refresh option up here. Oh, there it is. Refresh database. So there's the article. I want to... let's... Oh, I think this would... add another one. So let's just refresh. Did we get any errors? No. So let's do this refresh database here. And there, it did refresh both. So apparently you can refresh just the specific index you're under, or you can refresh the whole thing there. Wondering if there's anything like unique. Create index. If true, then there may only be one object in the store with the given value at the key path. Okay. That's good to know. Only used if the value on key path is an array. In that case, by default, the index will treat the whole array as the key. If multi-entry is true, and the index will keep a list of store objects for each value in that array. Okay. All right. I was thinking we would need to define more of the schema, but it doesn't look like we do. We just need to define whatever we want the ID to be. And if we want any indexes, and then, what's that, unique? So when creating the index, if we want it to be unique, so this is where we might want a couple of different object stores. One specifically for the wallet ID. So for this, we might want another store for all public addresses that we've generated. The other thing that I think I tested out based on yeah, it's in the utils here. Let's look. So a lot of these things, these foo functions that I made, wallet foo, xpub foo, well, this one, so from xpub. So this is assuming we're provided an xpub rather than, so this first one, this HD key, instead of generating it from an actual wallet. So here we assume a wallet is provided. Here it's also an xpub. This also assumes the wallet is provided. Wallet again. So this is what I was looking for here. So the init wallet, this is where I'm doing the current structure that it's getting. And this is what we'd be replacing. Did I have that? I did. So I had main in here. That's the default. All right, so wallet we get from generate recovery phrase. So init wallet comes after generate recovery phrase, and generate recovery phrase does all the stuff where it actually takes the phrase, turns it into the seed. So dash phrase to seed, takes the recovery phrase, uses the secret salt, and that's how you get the wallet. And eventually it returns all of that, including the wallet. Long term, we probably don't want to return the recovery phrase here. but in testing, it was needed to test that. Let's see. So that's where we get the wallet. And then we do dash HD from seed. So that's the wallet. Then we do to xpub and to ID. So we're getting that ID from the official wallet itself. But in these other ones up here, what we were testing out is using the to ID on an HD key. And I can't recall the result of my conversation with Kool-Aid J86 about this. Hmm. So we get the HD key from the xpub, and then we do to ID. Oh, this is the downside to having such a huge gap between the last time I worked on this, is I don't remember the conclusions. And try and check my notes. Got to-dos, which is kind of a breakout with that stuff. Well, the to-dos are reordered. So these are the kind of more official what would be done for the full feature. And the to-dos are breaking down that feature further into how I'm more of the implementation steps. Yeah, and I clearly don't have any huge notes here. Those are just to-dos. And these are just the stages I intended to work on. Hmm. Do I have any other notes anywhere? Let me look around a bit. Not there. Nope. Not in the last 4 or 5 streams. It's not there. All right. Let's see. Is that in utils? Dash HD 2ID. So this is the right library. Let's find 2ID. It's not even listed, dang it. Is this old? Hmm. Yeah, that doesn't tell me what I'm looking for. So I wanted to know if it's safe to do this to ID and if that generates a consistent ID. Hmm. The other thing that I need to take into consideration is we have, at least right now, a command line version of this working. And if we want to maintain its functionality or improve its functionality and bring it so both this graphical interface is compatible with the command line interface. Yeah, if we want to do that, then IndexedDB might not be the best choice. Maybe it would be better to store things in local storage, but there are certainly some advantages which, as long as we can mimic kind of the formatting structure, which would be stored in a file system rather than in the browser, IndexedDB might be fine if we're assuming that every record, so we go back in here. So if each of these records, for example, this is based on the date here, if each of these was tied to a file, in which case having a key path or a key that could be translated to a file if we need to export. So you're using this in browser and you want to use it from the command line, or if we ever build an app as well, you want to use it from your computer, you would need a way to store this that works for command line. I don't think there's an index DB. I mean, maybe there's a plugin. I don't know. Let's go to npm npmjs.org or .com. I guess it's .com now. Oh, I forgot. For some reason, npm doesn't let you click those, like open a new browser tab, so I couldn't open this. I had to click it. An FS library for the browser lets you store data using an API similar to Node's FS module, powered by IndexedDB. Oh. So you can kind of store files. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, that's right. I've used Dexseed before. It's been a long time. Maybe I have used IndexedDB. Forgot about that. I was just using an abstraction. But yeah, I used this a long time ago. used NEDB before, but it's been a while as well. Abstract level database for Node and browsers. This is a convenience package that exports classic level Node browser level and browsers. Hmm. All right, that's enough. I was hoping I'd find something quick, but in either case, I do think there's a way to back up. At least there's a way to back up local storage to export it. So assuming there's a way to back up IndexedDB, let's see. I can export. Oh, you can refresh. So how would you export it? So this depends on Dexy and another library to import export, which is not quite what I want. That might be a downside to using IndexedDB is it's not as straightforward to export. That's not too bad. Store name's length is equal to 0. JSON stringify export object. Otherwise, transaction, object store names, read only. Event error. Go ahead and bookmark that. So store name and object store names. All objects, object store, store name, open cursor, add event, success, target result, if cursor, all objects. Where's all objects? Push cursor value, continue. So it loops over each event. Well, no. It loops over each store name. If the cursor exists, it pushes the value onto all objects, otherwise, and then it continues. Otherwise, no more values, store is done. Last store was handled. Okay. So that would give you a potentially giant JSON object with all the data. Me who doesn't regularly use raw IDB API, you can get IDB database instance and call one of these functions with this. Okay, well, at least something exists that would probably work with that. So that's not too bad. All right, as long as I can export this so that it can be imported to the command line, I'm okay with this. So I think we can continue with trying to figure out the structure and like what we want to store, how we want to store it, and maybe how many what are they, object stores we want. But I'm going to go ahead and take a break for a few minutes here. Let's see. Set my timer. Switch to this. Music stopped apparently. Gonna turn on some music again. And I will be back in a few minutes here.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world. Roger, General. We're entering Corneria City now. All aircraft report.
Alrighty, I'm back. Hmm. I want to go back to here. Nope, here. So 2 ID bytes, 2x pub bytes. HD key. Decisions. So I mapped out kind of some of the stuff we might need. I think, however, there was something wrong with this after discussing it with Cool AJ86. Oh. I suppose the other thing I'm trying to think about is, do we need to store everything in IndexedDB, or should, for example, these contacts be stored in local storage, and then maybe just the arrays of things like that would have wallet keys would get stored in IndexedDB. Oh, that's right. Some of this was coming from one of these dips. There it is. So I was pulling a lot of these values, well, at least like the name, the email, the picture, and this sub thing from the proposal for contact exchange using xpubs or xprivs. So I thought I had even more. That's what I was looking for. So I think AJ has it as nickname. However, I was thinking we shouldn't use nickname, we should use preferred username. Because the very fact that it says preferred to me means that's what you prefer. It's not guaranteed though. And so I think that would line up well with the alias that we're trying to use, where there's no universal server that's enforcing your usernames. And so from this perspective, for the wallet we're building here, preferred username makes more sense to me. But I thought he had linked to... Oh, that's it. Yeah, here we go. Ooh, that's hard to look at. Boom. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so in this page, as you might be able to see now, maybe I'll zoom in even more. Nickname is casual name for the end user that may or may not be the same as given name. For instance, a nickname. The value of Mike might be returned alongside the given name of Michael. And so that's why I don't like using nickname, whereas preferred username, shorthand name, by which the end user wishes to be referred to at RP. I don't know what RP is, maybe request phase, I don't know. Such as Jane Doe or J.Doe. This value may be any valid JSON string, including special characters or white space. The RP must not rely upon this value being unique, as discussed in section 5.7. And so that's why I think preferred username is the ideal. In any case, so I'm assuming init info for... Does this get stored at all right now? Info, preferred username. Let's go back here, wallets. Nah, it doesn't look like I'm storing it. So, okay. See, I knew I'd worked on some of this, but it's clear that I didn't actually implement the storage of it, and that's because I hadn't made the decisions of how we were going to store all of this information, and it kind of changed after a discussion with CoolAJ86. So init info versus info, that's with init wallet. So sub xpub picture email name. Subject identifier for the end user at the issuer. So sub, I think, is a unique ID. Is that what? A pairwise pseudonymous. Pseudonymous? Is that right? Pseudo-anonymous? I don't know. Pseudonymous identifier. The sharer will use to describe the receiver. I don't know what pairwise means in this. URL to a JSON description of the contact, including the OIDC standard claims. Applications that support contacts must recognize xpriv and xpub parameters, which may be respectively an xpriv shared account with trusted contact or xpub contact. Since most Dash users are not sophisticated in regards to safe storage of wallet phrases, xpriv should be used instead of xpubs with trusted contacts so that there is a mechanism to retrieve funds that would otherwise be lost. I actually don't know enough about that of why you would be able to recover funds with the xpriv, or maybe you would just be able to recover any funds sent within that xpriv. I don't think it would give you full access to the wallet, but just that account index, I'm thinking. So let's see, let's clear that, refresh. All right, so this is an example of all the stuff we're outputting for the wallet as we're debugging. And there's our xpriv versus our xpub. However, this is the xpriv and xpub for the account index 0 and address index 0. So those should both be different for the next one. So I started writing this create contact function, but I'm pretty sure it's not implemented anywhere. Yeah. And a lot of this is assuming, for example, the preferred username. It's assuming you're scanning a QR code. So, assuming you're in, well, that doesn't really show it. So here, there's new contact. So you could either add one, so contact name with the dash link, or you could scan a QR code. So that's what's planned, this new contact, but I haven't built that yet. I have built this modal, which you can't enter anything yet. All right, so what I'm thinking I want to do just while I'm testing here, where's the state wallet? It's not where I want to look, actually. I want to be in the init wallet. I think. So init wallet. Okay, so what I want to test here is the 1 and 0. So okay, so right, so the reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that these xpriv and xpubs are changing, and I want to see what the IDs look like for each of them. Actually, I probably want to wrap these Yeah, I'll do an array. And like that. Okay. Then count 2 and 2. Whoops. All right, let's filter on that and refresh. Okay. So, xpub. So xpub GSS. So far, these are looking like the same. Okay, so those xpubs look like the same. I think that's to be expected, but I'm hoping that the xpubs for the second account index are different. And they are already. So 6E5BD versus 6ETQ. So those xpubs are different, but they're based on the account index, it looks like. Whereas even with the address index change, the xpub doesn't. And I think that's expected. And then also the xpub ID. Those match, and those match. So that's actually what I wanted to verify for the most part. Well, no, that's not all I wanted to verify. The other thing I want to verify is, where is it? Up here. So xpub foo from xpub. I want to check the xpub versus xpriv. And I think this was already, yeah, xpub foo is right there. So let's do wallet account 2. So this is where let's take this one and count .xpub and then the address index of 0. So hopefully that, let's move it up actually. So hopefully this foo matches more or less the account index, or the wallet account 2. And we also want to copy that for this one. And this will be 1 and 1. And copy. Okay. But I also want to test xpriv, I think. And even though this one says from xpub, I think I can do an xpriv here too. Because this is just expecting the x key. So I'm going to go ahead and try xpub foo with the xpriv as well. So maybe I'll rename these pub and pub, and then we want RV X Riv. Is that right? Oh wait, we're not. Get address doesn't look like it's returning the xpriv. So it should be able to return the xpriv. So let's enable that, because I do want to test this. Okay. So now it should return the xpriv, which means, what was that? xprv. That ain't right. Okay, let's refresh. So now the wallet account 1 is the first, or the 0 index. Number 1 is the public, and number 2 is the priv. So public does get the address correctly, and private does the, ooh, they get different key IDs though. It does look like they return the same xpub, however. So if you're getting the HD key ID from an xpub or an xpriv, it is different from if you're generating it from the wallet. Wait, no, you do have access to it. So HD key ID. All right, so you do still have access to it under both situations. It's the key ID, and okay, then I think that makes sense. So then down here, those all should be different too. So xpub ID, ZD, HD key. All right, that seems consistent. So assuming this is working right, regardless of if it's your wallet or if it's a contact adding you, you should be able to get the correct ID based on an xpub or an xpriv. Now I kind of expected the xpub to change when you change the address index, but it doesn't look like it does. So the xpub changes when you change the account index, but it doesn't change when you change the address index. I mean, maybe that's okay. I think that's okay. Oof. I haven't written any code yet, but I'm already tired. My brain is tired from trying to wrap itself around all of this stuff. Oh, gosh. I guess this is writing code, but it's not real. It's testing things, not actually writing something to be functional and to add functionality. Oof. I suppose the other thing I'm curious about is if we can bump this. So bumping those should actually make it match this second address instead of the first. So right now that matches, but it should not match that one. But with the refresh, let's clear and refresh. Now the second one. So EIMDT. Yeah. Okay, so with an xpub or an xpriv, you're able to increase the index. The address index and get the next one. What I don't understand, and this is something I'll probably need to talk to CoolAJ86 about, is why an xpriv allows you to recover funds. I guess maybe with an xpriv you could actually send funds. That's the only way I could see you'd be able to recover them. In which case, I personally would not want anyone I'm sending funds to be able to send funds from my wallet. Even if it is limited to that account index. Which I have verified that the account index changes. Or changes the xpub and the xpriv. That was one of the things I wanted to do, and I wanted to see if you could get the HD key just based off that. So I verified those things. Oh man. All right, I feel like I've successfully gotten, like, refreshed my memory of where I'm at, but I do kind of feel like I'm going to be spinning my wheels. Like, I need a break. I need to step away. So I think I'm going to wrap up this stream, and I'll come back at this, I want to say, in an hour or two, but in reality, I might be done for the day and come back at this tomorrow. So, yeah. Thanks, anyone for tuning in and watching this after the fact. Please consider commenting, liking, subscribing, following, sharing, you know, all that stuff. It's much appreciated and it helps out. So thank y'all, and I will catch you next time. Later.